Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Thursday, the 2nd of October. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A severe weather watch for strong winds has been issued for the Bay of Plenty and Coromandel as the front moves across the country. The front is moving across the country this evening, followed by blustery northwest winds. Strong to gale westerlies are expected tomorrow afternoon for most of our regions, then southwest gales overnight Friday and into Saturday. These gales could become severe, especially Saturday, over Auckland and in the lee of Coromandel and Kaimai ranges. In a recent operation targeting speeding motorists from Western Bay of Plenty Police, a driver was caught doing 114 kilometres in a 50k zone. 193 infringements were issued to those who chose to exceed the speed limit, with 140 kilometres being the highest speed on the open road. A high percentage of these speeding infringements, though, were in school zones. Western Bay Plenty Police Road Policing Acting Sergeant Aaron Williams says police will continue to patrol around school zones and will take a very low tolerance for persons placing anyone else at risk through their own driving behaviour. Another Bay of Plenty steamer will soon be acclimatising himself to Dunedin's colder climate after being signed by the Highlanders for the 2015 Super Rugby season. Prop Pingi Tala Apitaga was yesterday unveiled by the South Island franchise in what is part of a 7-strong recruitment drive to bolster their forward pack. The 25-year-old, who has 24 ITM Cup caps next to his name, is joined by fellow props Brendan Edmonds of Hawke's Bay, Tasman's Ross Galden-Hughes and Josh Hornick of Waikato, and heading south. It is expected the 4 newcomers will provide a much-needed depth in the front after injuries and suspensions tested the Highlanders in their 2014 season. Now for our marine forecast, West Coast, Raglan. Westerly rising on Friday afternoon to 35 knots with very rough seas. High tide is at 6:05 in the evening. East Coast, Bay of Plenty, northwest 20 knots, rising to westerly 25 knots, gusting to 35 knots early in the morning and to 30 knots, gusting to 40 knots in the afternoon. Sea becoming rough early morning, poor visibility and showers from late afternoon, and hopefully it will be easing in the evening. Your high tide in Tauranga is at 2:54 p.m. Still to come on Central News, life after the Commonwealth Games, and we are at the Waikato Home and Garden Show. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. After returning home from the Glasgow Commonwealth Games with a gold medal in boxing, it was back to training for David Nika as he prepares for the Nationals in Queenstown. Anne-Marie caught up with him after training at Ringside Gym in Hamilton and to find out how that preparation is going and what it means to be a good role model.
Being a good role model to me is just carrying myself with a bit of pride and maybe just setting an example for the younger generation.
So who inspires you?
My mum, my coach, they're both huge role models in my life right now, and my coach he's been just as much a mentor as a coach, and I think having him with me for the last 5 years has been has had a huge influence on just the way I carry myself, the way I go about life.
What drives you? What gets you up in the morning?
I'm a full-time athlete, so I don't find myself getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go for a run, but I think just the personal challenges it presents to me, boxing. It's a crazy hard sport. You know, you have to get up, train hard, and get your head shaken a little bit at times. Hopefully not too much, but I think it's just my personal. Well, I don't know. I guess it challenges me in other ways that a lot of other things haven't tested me yet. So I'm just happy to get up in the morning and go for a run, go to the gym in the evening and work hard.
Do you have a sporting idol?
Yeah, I've got a few sporting idols. Floyd Mayweather's at the peak of the boxing world. He earns $100 million for a fight, so you got to have a little bit of that. It really does inspire me just to be at the top of the game.
You've gathered an excellent support team around you. Tell me about those people.
Yeah, I've had a tight-knit group right from day one. My coach has always been there for me. He's funded me right through the junior ranks, and to have him there with me, funding me, teaching me, and being the mentor to me has been awesome. And my family's always been right behind me, and I've got a few real loyal followers.
What does a typical training day look like for you?
Yes, I train between one and 3 times a day, 9 to 12 times a week. 9 to 12 times a week. It gets pretty hectic. Say if I'm running in the morning, I just did the Hakuna Matas yesterday, and that always leaves me a little bit sore the next day. And then coming in for a skill session in the afternoon and possibly a conditioning in the evening. So it's pretty full on, yeah.
Who do you train with?
At the moment, the gym's a little bit quiet in terms of boxers. It's actually just me and my older brother, Josh Nika. He's a little bit older than me. It's just me, him and my coach.
Now, how do you relax? I understand you play the piano with those powerful hands.
Not so much, not very well. I've just dabbled in piano. Like if I find a cool song that has a piano line, I'll jump on YouTube, and check it out.
So you're not the next Sam Smith?
Absolutely not, no.
How do you relax?
I guess I just do what any other teenage kid does. I just bought an Xbox. I've been jamming that non-stop for the last little while. I hang out with friends. I've got a few really close friends, and I don't know. I do need that downtime with my dog, with my little cousins. Run around the backyard with a saucepan on my head, looking like an idiot. So I think I just do what anybody else does, really.
You're heading to the Nationals on October the 8th in Queenstown. It's a must-win competition. Tell me about this.
Yeah, we're just going to go do what we've always done, and that's perform. I've trained for 5, nearly 6 hard weeks for this tournament, and nothing's changed as far as I'm concerned. We're still looking towards to 2016 Rio Olympics, but as I've always said, we have to look at the next tournament like it's going to be our last. So Nationals is going to be a big one for me.
Why is it a must-win?
Well, for me personally, I want to be the biggest thing in New Zealand boxing. So I have to prove to myself that I am worthy of that title. I think it's going to catapult me into next year, which means qualifying for the 2016 Rio Olympics, and it's going to take its course over the next 2 years, so it's a big lead up.
Who will you be fighting?
There are quite a few tough boys. I think there should be a few in my division. Not too sure exactly who I'll be fighting first, but it doesn't make any difference. I'm going to go in there and put on my best performance.
After the Nationals, what happens then?
Yeah, me and my coach are going to sit down and decide where we want to be in the next 2 years, whether it be at light heavyweight at 81 kgs, or if we want to move up to 91, which is going to be a big jump. So we're just going to have to go to the drawing board and make some big decisions, and I'm going to have to have a little bit of time to relax and just enjoy the summer, I think. But we'll keep working.
Are you feeling pressure to perform after your Commonwealth Games win?
I guess I should, but I think nothing's really changed as far as I'm concerned, and me and my coach is concerned. We're still on the same course, the same journey. I'm as confident as ever, and any pressure that is on me, I'm not feeling right now.
You've gone from relative obscurity straight into the public eye pretty much overnight. How have you found that?
Right. I guess you kind of find out who your real friends are. I've had a few close friends for the last for my whole life basically, and I think it's really made me appreciate those people that have been with me right from the start, and I feel like it's harder to make friends for a number of reasons, but I'm really enjoying meeting a whole lot of people.
And you've also become a role model for kids who can relate to you. What's your message to those kids?
For me, the message to myself was just to work hard and be the best at what you want to do, and for a lot of kids, I guess they could just do the same. Like I said earlier, I started boxing when I was 14 years old. That's not very young. A lot of kids are playing rugby today. They want to be the next All Black, and there's no reason why they can't. You just have to devote your life to it and go nuts.
You can follow David on Facebook. Just search David Nika. Coming up, we're at the Waikato Home and Garden Show. Welcome back to Central News. The Waikato Home and Garden Show began today at Claudelands Event Centre, and this year it's celebrating its 30th anniversary. I caught up with director Graham Hanna yesterday as he put the finishing touches on the iconic Waikato event and asked him why he thought Hamilton needed a home show all that time back in 1984.
As a young lad, I'd spent some time travelling around the Middle East and Istanbul and been working in the markets and the grand bazaars, and that's a meeting point for the traders and the buyers, and they come from all around the world, like the silk trades and rugs and absolutely everything, the spice markets. And the concept of a home show is very, very similar. We have the traders that come from all over New Zealand. This year, 450 from the tip of the South Island right through to the top of the North Island, and we'll have 30,000 visitors that'll come along and trade.
How has it evolved over those last 30 years?
It sure has. I can remember the first show that we did 30 years ago, and we used to have to it was in the old agricultural buildings at that time. Now, of course, it's in beautiful new buildings that they've spent $67 million on. But in the old days, we used to have to come in with big washing machines on the back of a truck, and we had to clean all of the pavilions because they'd been having bull sales in them before. So that was our first one. So it was a lot of disinfectant. And we had 60 companies, and we had about 8,000 people attend the show. And that was on the first one. So it was very, very successful. People didn't mind the smell, and they came back for many years afterwards until we've got this beautiful new building to work in now.
Are there any exhibitors that were here in that first one still here 30 years later?
There's probably a dozen of those exhibitors that are here today that started with us, but probably one of the ones that I'll always remember would be the Noyne family from Nanapuri here in Hamilton, and they run Villograd wines, and so they brought the Mediterranean flavour to the first home show. We set up a big marquee, and they brought in all their wine and big roast spit, big fires, and they provided entertainment, which was going to be the hallmark of the show for many years afterwards. Today, Peter's and Nelda's sons, the three of them, and they've got their children, and they're here with their children. So it's three generations, really, of Villograd people at the show.
When you think about the building industry, how has it changed over those last 30 years?
Well, it's hard to know where to start, really. The whole concept of building these days is so much different than it used to be 30 years ago. I think probably one of the biggest areas is the advent of outdoor living, with louver tops that open and close. If it's going to rain, they detect it and they close. You've got outdoor kitchens, spa pools, and moving from the indoor to the outdoor is really probably the biggest change. You've also got solar heating, and there's a lot more ecology going on than there used to be.
What's the biggest building change in that time?
We've done a lot of development in different ways, and one of the things that we've developed over the years has been subterranean living, building caves. We built our first cave probably 16 years ago at the home show, and we invited the wizard from Christchurch to come up, and we had a wonderful party on around this cave, which was set up in a pond and a moat around it, and that was the first cave, and from that we've developed, and today here at this home show, subterranean dwelling is for sale, so it's great.
When you look back, is there a memorable exhibit or idea that's really stood out for you?
It's very hard to pick one. We've built full streets of houses. We've built two-storey houses. We've had wonderful landscaping features that have taken up half a car park and transformed what was just a car park into a whole landscaped area. we've set up a farmyard where people walked across a little bridge, and we had gardens in there with rabbits eating the carrots, all done to like Disneyland style. So it's a little bit like Disneyland in some way for me. We create an idea and then we see it happen with a lot of great people.
The New Zealand Landscape Design Awards are a feature of the show, so tell me about those.
This is the New Zealand Landscape Design Awards, and we started this 20 years ago, and it gives emerging and talented landscape designers the opportunity of creating a courtyard to a special theme. This year it's 150 years of gardening in Hamilton, and there are 4 landscape gardeners that have contestants that have built 4 gardens, and they're very, very special, very special. And they'll be judged on Thursday morning, and they'll be there for people to see.
What are you personally the most proud of?
I think that it would have to be that the show every year now is like a family coming together. So lots of exhibitors that we know, we look forward to seeing them, they look forward to being here. Our staff, we've got incredible staff, about 100 people working for us today, and right through the show. These are people that take a week off their holidays and come and work at the home show. So it's like a big family getting together. That's really what I'm proud of, and I'm proud of the team and the staff that we've had.
The 30th annual Waikato Home and Garden Show is on at the Claudelands Event Centre in Hamilton until Sunday, October the 5th. For more details, go to waikato-homeshow.co.nz. Coming up next, another garden show, but with art and in the Bay. Welcome back. The official program is out for the New Zealand Garden and Art Festival. Running from the 17th to the 23rd of November, the Bay of Plenty event attracts many tourists to the region. The Sculpture Symposium was a new feature of the last festival, and I found out it's actually on the move this year.
It is, and we're really excited because we bought in 2012, we brought it to the Tauranga waterfront, and we had 10 sculptors carving for 7 days. And they've now moved to Mount Juri, Mount Maunganui. We've got 16 artists from all over the country, as well as local artists as well, carving omaru and maritoto and wood, and they're there for 10 days. So the festival has grown, the symposium has grown, and it's nice to have that event on board. It's a really great fit for the festival.
Can you run us through some of the workshops?
We've got 3 days of workshops, and we're really excited because, again, we're bringing out 2 international speakers. And Stephen Wells from Melbourne, he specialises in sensory garden planting. So he works for the medical facilities in Australia and plants these amazing gardens where people can actually touch and smell and feel plants. And so it's a real sensory experience. And he's made a living out of this. He was the the Australian Gardener of the Year for 2012. And so he'll have a very fascinating workshop. Elaine Quattrey from Brisbane is an environmental artist. She does installations, some of them as big as 10 metres by 10 metres big, and she's coming over to do an installation that will take 4 days to complete. And of course, of all the other fabulous speakers we've got, the MasterChef girls, Karina and Casey from Makatu, Joe McCarroll from New Zealand Gardener magazine, Ben Hoyle, who has competed at every Ellerslie flower show since in existence, a gold medal winner for New Zealand International Flower Shows. Francine Thomas, who's just come back from Dublin at the World Champs for floral art display. And the list goes on. It's 3 days of really exciting speakers.
There will be garden trails again. Now tell us about some of those gardens you're showcasing.
Yes, absolutely. It's the biggest garden trail we've had. There's 95 stops on the trail this time. 25% of the gardens are all new gardens as well, so brand new gardens for people who come to the festival every 2 years. They can actually spend 2 days of just seeing new gardens instead of the ones that have come back, and there's some really fantastic return gardens that we always invite them to come back because they are just so spectacular, and first time visitors to the festival, it's new for them, and it's also great to go back and see the changes that some of these gardeners have done as well. If it wasn't for the gardeners, we wouldn't have a festival. The amount of work and blood, sweat and tears that they put into their gardens to get ready for the festival. We just want to send a huge thanks to them. They do an incredible job for us.
95 gardens in 7 days. That seems like a lot to get through.
It's a combination of art stops and gardens. Some of them are commercial stops, but 7 days to get around 95 stops. So yeah, if you take the whole week off and spend it in Tauranga and the Bay of Plenty, enjoy the great food and all the other attractions that we have here. But the art stops, they're exciting because we actually get to go into artist studios that you would never normally get to visit. So not only do you get to see gardeners and gardens, you get to visit these amazing artists who live and work out of the Bay of Plenty as well.
So where can we get tickets then?
Through Ticketek if you want to go online, but we've got just on 7 locations around the Bay of Plenty, and the first time in Matamata we have Meta Pharmacy are selling tickets for us. So go there, you'll pick up your program, your directory, your wristbands, and it's a sort of a one-stop pick-up place. Otherwise, go through Ticketek and we'll post everything out to you.
Visit gardenandartfest.co.nz to find out how to purchase tickets. Now for our region's weather for Friday. It's not looking good, people. Hamilton, showers, some heavy in the afternoon. Westerly strengthens. 15 and 5 are your predicted highs and low. The rest of the Waikato, showers becoming more frequent in the morning, some heavy in the early afternoon. Westerlies rising to gale gusting 80 kilometres per hour in the afternoon. Paeroa, your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 7. Matamata, your expected high is 14 and an overnight low of 7. Te Awamutu, 15 and 5. Tokoroa, 12 and 3. Tauranga, showers, some heavy in the afternoon, and the westerly will be strengthening. Your expected high is 17 and an overnight low of 6. The rest of the bay, showers becoming more frequent in the morning, some heavy during the afternoon. Westerlies becoming strong in exposed places in the morning, then rising to gales gusting to 90 kilometres per hour west of Rotorua in the afternoon. Te Puke, your expected high is 14 and an overnight low of 6. Please be careful out there. It does not look like it is going to be a nice day. That is Central News for tonight. We love hearing from you, so like us on Facebook, centralnews.tv, or email us news@tvcentral.co.nz. Tomorrow night we are at the Home Show again, finding out about the Home of the Year, and Mayor Julie Hardacre chats with me about the proposal to sell the pensioner housing in Hamilton. Until then, I'm Hilary Entwistle, and I hope you have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.